Hi, I'm Troy Moore. Welcome to my ePortfolio and my guided tour.
Hello, and welcome to my guided tour of ETEC 590 Portfolio. I'm Troy Moore, and welcome to MasterChef. This guided tour and EP are to fulfill my capstone requirements for my TQS Category 6. It is also to reflect on the learning and growing I've done over the last 2 years, and hopefully showcase some of the skills I've developed. The audience for this EP and guided tour are my instructors, TQS, peers, colleagues, other friends and families, and potentially future students of the Masters of Educational Technology. Here's my video tour. As you can see, the first one was far too long, and hence we're doing it again. A word on navigation before we begin. This site can be navigated from here. If you wish to go home, this is your link. As well, we have a main link menu up top, including drop-down menus for individual courses. At the bottom of each page will be at least one link that will take you on your way. Let's begin. The About Me section, as you can see, possesses a slideshow of pictures, which I chose to put in because family is the most important thing to me. So I thought it was imperative that I show that. Under that, you'll find my social media links so you can friend me, tweet me, mail me, circle me, or pin me. Following that is the journey I've undertaken to come here. Originally, it was supposed to be a paragraph, but as you can see, it has extended much, much further. Now I will explain my metaphor. I chose the MasterChef metaphor because, like a chef, there are distinct levels of ability and knowledge. Chefs are also lifelong learners, constantly reinventing themselves and their recipes. I broke the metaphor down into 4 training sessions: a chef de partie, a sous chef, an executive chef, and finally the master chef. As well, I would look to my culinary future. In addition, I chose the master chef metaphor simply because I love food. I love cooking and creating, and I think much like a master chef, I desire to be a master teacher. Let's examine the chef de partie. A chef de partie is the beginning job in the kitchen. It is also known as a station chef or a line cook. This is where you learn your foundations for cooking. Much like I believe the 4 core courses offered in the MET are foundational courses for learning: ETEC 500, ETEC 510, 511, and 512. ETEC 500, Research Methodology in Education. And you will note that there is a link here to the MET site to examine course calendars and the sites. ETEC 500 was a research methodology course where I learned about educational research, qualitative, quantitative research, literature reviews. I also undertook ethnographic research, critiques, and finally a giant proposal in which I proposed 2 classes, 2 of the exact same classes, one using AFL, Assessment for Learning, the other one not, and comparing the results. It was a great foundational course to help me understand how research is used in education. Next, we'll look at ETEC 510, which was the design of technology-supported learning environments. This was the final course I took besides ETEC 590. I do see why they encourage core courses to be done early on. I feel that a lot of the elements of this course would have been better suited had I taken it earlier, because it did focus in on what makes an online course effective, from things like how to select technology for it to how does constructivism aid in online delivery. We created a giant project, a group, online teacher collaboration in a community of practice, with eventually it becoming Share, Teach, Grow. Brilliant idea that we will have an online collaborative space with synchronous editing so teachers can work together to develop lesson plans. That's our website there. In addition, in this course, I was also forced to edit a wiki, so I learned some HTML coding, which was great. It was a great foundation. I just wish I would have taken it earlier. ETEC 511, Foundations of Educational Technology. This was one of the first courses I took. Changed my entire life. The way I look at technology now is completely different from the way I looked at it prior to this. This course really showed me that technology has permeated every single thing that we do, from our education to piracy to media. I chose to do, even to spirituality. I chose to do my assignment for this on flipped classrooms, which is the idea that using technology, students will do their classwork at home and then have time in class for assignments and things of that nature. The problem with this that I had was that it uses technology as a barrier, a socioeconomic barrier. Poor students would not be able to do this. There's me. ETEC 512, the applications of learning theories. This was a flashback to my B.Ed, where we focused in on the learning theories, obviously a foundational course. You have to know the theories so you can know how to move forward. We looked at Skinner and behaviorism, which to me is not a learning theory, but a classroom management skill. We looked at mind-body education, which is the idea that we need to learn more about neuroscience and the way brain works to learn how to improve knowledge acquisition. We looked at the information processing, which is how thoughts become memory. And finally, we looked at constructivism, which is arguably the most complete learning theory. We looked at some of the big players in it, including Lew Vygotsky, Jean Piaget. In fact, I did a group presentation on Jean Piaget, including a Prezi. And I did a lesson plan critique on how we could improve previous lesson plans using our newly found knowledge of learning theories. It was a great assignment. However, I believe my lesson plan was too strong to begin with, and so I wasn't able to critique it as much as I would like. These 4 courses, great foundational building blocks for the MET. Next, we'll move on to the sous chef. The sous chef to me is a chef that's under an executive chef, but has more skill than just a foundational chef, a line cook. A sous chef to me is someone that's not quite there, but getting there. I chose 2 courses for this, ETEC 521 and 565. ETEC 521 was Indigeneity, Technology, and Education. I chose this because my school has a very large Aboriginal population, and I was hoping to find some ways using technology to break barriers down with the Aboriginal students. I believe it did so. It also gave me a basis for how Aboriginal view themselves and view their culture online, how researched it is. However, the big project I did for this was Kill the Indian and the Child, St. Joseph's Residential School and its Dark History, which is a school that in its heyday was about 120 kilometers from here and is one of the most horrific residential schools in Canada's history. In fact, there have been 3 people charged with sexual assault as a result of the treatment in this school. It's a terrible, terrible thing. One of my neighbors is a survivor, hence my interest in it. And I believe that this assignment alone changed me. ETEC 565, which is Communication and Culture in Virtual Learning Environments. This course was great because it made me re-examine what culture is. When we get to 531, Culture and New Media Studies, I had already looked at culture, but this was a more basic view at it, like breaking down what culture is to us. Unfortunately, most of us see it as nationalistic when it's not. Culture should be something that ties us together. As you can see, I planned a party for a Super Bowl. Obviously, this was 2 years ago, not last year. In addition, I undertook an assignment whether the cell phone was killing education. I proposed that we give kids phones, let them learn Textese, which is the text language, and using baseline tests, see if it hinders or improves, as some would argue, their cognitive ability when it comes to language. The next step would be the executive chef, which to me is the pinnacle of chefs in the kitchen. This is where you order, you plan menus, you commandeer a chef army. This is the highest you can go outside of being a master chef. To me, I took 3 courses that I believe pushed me to this level: 522, 531, and 540. 522 is venture plans in learning technology. This focused in on the business side of education, the idea that Pearson has its nails into a multi-billion-dollar industry that is virtually untapped. We learned how the market allows for these, how to develop the market, the pain points, how to market your own plan. I looked at the Pacific School of Innovation and Inquiry down in the Lower Mainland. Finally, we see my venture pitch and my elevator pitch. This is my plan for a replacement ESIS, which unfortunately is now Aspen ESIS, and my plan didn't make it. As you can see, it must have been November, because that is one hideous, hideous mustache. ETEC 531 was taken as one of my first courses. It is Cultural and New Media Studies. This course was brilliant. It's my favorite course of all time, ever, I think, in anything I've ever taken. The idea is how we portray culture through media. It looks at it from our clothing, our ecological design, through our art, copyright. It looked at science fiction, how authors from 150 years ago knew more about futuristic technology than people did 10 years ago. It was truly just one of the most interesting courses I have ever taken. I did a couple media productions for that. This one was version 7. As you can see, that mustache, of course, that one is phony. I tried accents. I played all the characters. It was a great, great course. Another one where we looked at the link of spirituality and technology. Here's my Moodle that my course did. Moodle's such an antiquated beast. Hopefully, technology replaces that soon. The last course I would liken to an executive chef is Text Technologies ETEC 540. This is a course that really challenged the way I think about text, especially as an English teacher. Essentially, this course looked at text and the evolution of it from the first oral language text all the way through the Codex, through the Gutenberg Bible. And in fact, in one assignment, I looked at the Library of Alexandria and how Google and their updating of books is attempting to recreate the Library of Alexandria. It's just the problem lies in is if Google controls it, how do we all have access? I created a media project on the Gutenberg printing press and its impact on education and on culture. Finally, my group and I looked at social interactions with changing technology. As you can see, one did computers, one did the telephone, and I did social interactions in the television. I looked at the growth of the television and the way it has impacted us socially. Our ability to communicate socially has truly been hindered by the television, even though when it was mass marketed to families, it was to be the new dinner table. The unfortunate piece is that it's not a new dinner table. It is just something to stare at so you don't have to talk to your friends or family. Finally, to me, the pinnacle is Master Chef. This is the culmination. This is a level very few people reach. This is the equivalent of Michelin stars or owning your own restaurant. To a teacher, this is a master teacher. This is the one other teachers look to for assistance and go, I would like to be that teacher one day. To me, there was only one course that would fit in here, and that's 590. 590 was the culminating course. This was the one that allowed us to reflect and look at everything we had learned over the last 2 years. For me, 3-4 years for others. It was the one that said, I get it. With that in mind, I look to the future now. under Culinary Future. So this to me was, I've got my master's now, so what do I do with it now? Well, what I envision for my future is to be a technological leader in my district and in my school. I want technology to be available. I want to teach other teachers how to use it. I want to help everyone. I want to inspire. Here's a list of my references, as you can see, including my own. And then for images, as you will see, there's many beautiful images throughout the portfolio. I didn't want to do them any injustice by covering them with words. So I used a slideshow along with the pictures so you can see where they come from. Thank you one last thing is there is a rubric under MasterChef. You can see it right here. This will be my rubric. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed seeing this as much as I enjoyed making this. Thank you, and good night.